Hello guys, this is Jacko from MuddyTigerOutdoors, and today we're going to do a quick little test between three stoves. Today I'm going to compare a gas stove versus a wood stove versus a Trangia style or an alcohol burning stove. So for that test we're going to have for the gas stove, we're going to have the Optimus Crux, and this is a stove that I've used for a little over a year, and you know, it's worked very good for me. It's a very good stove. It's never failed me. So for the wood burning stove, we have the Bushcraft Essentials Ultra Light, and this is an awesome, very compact, very lightweight stove, and this is very rapidly becoming one of my favorites as well, because of the weight, because of the versatility. You can not only burn you know, wood, but you can also burn you know, Esbit cubes. You can put Trangia in there, which I'll do today, and this is a very awesome little stove. And for the alcohol, we have the typical and very classical Trangia style stove. So I just got this a few days ago, and I've been kind of playing with it, see how it works, see what I can do with it. So we're going to put that one to the test. So for the test, we're going to boil 24 ounces of water in each different stove. So just to see how long it takes. Keep in mind, this is not a scientific test in any way, shape, or form. This is just meant to kind of give you an idea how they work, these advantages that I've found. And of course, you know, the temperature today, it's about 82 degrees out here this morning, so it's by no means any scientific test. So we'll see how they perform. Alright guys, so for the first test, we have the Optimus Crux. This is the gas stove, and this is the complete set, you know, with the fuel, the stove right here, the windscreen, and we've got the cup or the container. So we're gonna go ahead and light it up, and I've got a timer right here. This is my stopwatch, and we're just gonna see how long it takes for the water to boil. So here we have our stopwatch at 0. I'm gonna set it right here to the side. We're gonna set our water on top. We're gonna cover it. Turn on the gas. And there it goes. We're gonna start the stopwatch. There it goes. Alright, so if you guys can tell, there's a lot of steam coming out. The water's moving, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And we are at 3 minutes and 49 seconds. 3 minutes and 50 seconds approximately. So the water's definitely boiled. It's still kind of boiling, as you can see. Okay. So for this particular stove, gas stove, the Optimus Crux, in these conditions, it took about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's a fairly good, fairly decent amount of time. So what are some of the advantages of a setup like this? Well, it's very lightweight. It's very quick, a lot faster than the other two I'm thinking. Very easy to set up, very easy to light up. If you have a ferrocerium rod, or if you have a lighter, turn it on, crank it, and there you go. You've got something to cook with. Of course, it all comes in a package, in a very self-contained canister, and it works. The disadvantages, well, they don't work with a lot of wind. If you're in a very windy area, you're not protected from the wind, well, the wind is going to slap the flame all over the place. You're going to lose some of your heat. Another thing, it's a little bit more bulky than the other two, and of course, you know, you have to have the fuel, otherwise it won't work. But just like the other two, they all work with some type of fuel. So either way, you're going to have to carry or find your fuel. So let's move on to the Trangia, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so here we have the famous Trangia stove, and it comes with this little cap, and it just kind of, I think it's for controlling your flame or to turn your flame off. You just kind of set it up there if your flame's still going after you're done cooking, and it just suffocates the flame. And that's what it looks like. I've used it a couple of times just to kind of test it out. It's a very old design, but it's a design that it's worked for many years. So I'm very happy to have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol, just regular alcohol. I'm not going to go and get too fancy with all different kinds of alcohol or fuel that you can use for these, but we're going to try this. Now, the only thing about this one is that you have to make sure that your fuel is warm enough to start evaporating, because it doesn't light up the actual alcohol. It lights up the fumes, and that's what creates the flame. So let's give this one a try. Alright, so here we have the Trangia, and as you can tell, I'm using the Bushcraft Essentials Ultralight to just kind of as a vessel, just to kind of hold it in place to protect the table from the heat of the stove, and also just to kind of give it a little bit of a wind proofing. So we're going to take the cap off. I already put the alcohol in, and we're going to light it up. Now the thing about alcohol stoves is that sometimes you can't tell that you have a flame, and you know, the flame doesn't actually create a regular flame that it's easy to see. So it's kind of hard to get it to make sure that you have a flame. What you can do is you can just kind of run your hand on top and see if it's lit up. Alright, so I think right now it's lit up. I can see a little bit of heat coming out of there, heat waves. And we kind of need to let this one prime just to make sure that the jets lit up and that the flame starts coming out of them. So over here we have our water. Again, this is a cool container, cold. I can stick my finger in there, there's no problem. It's 24 ounces, same amount as we did last time. So we're going to wait for this one to prime, and then we'll put the water on top and see how long it takes. Alright, so it looks like now we have a pretty strong flame. It's nice and primed, so we're going to go ahead and put the water on top. Right there. It's nice and secure, and we're going to go ahead and start the timer. Here we go. Alright, so it looks like there's some steam coming out. We've got a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the clock. And I'm going to stop it at 9:51. So as you can tell, way more than double the time. There's the boil. I'm going to go ahead and take the water off the heat. So as you can tell, it definitely took a lot longer with this method, but a very secure method. I mean, it's a slower flame, and of course you have to carry the fuel. So advantages is lightweight. It's a proven design for many decades. I don't even know when the Trangia came out, but I know it's a fairly old design. They've been around for a long time. Another advantage is that, you know, you can basically carry this in your pocket. I mean, it's so small, and again, so lightweight. It's a very well constructed device, and it's been, again, proven so many decades. Disadvantages is, well, you have to have your liquid fuel. You have to carry it with you. You have to sometimes even make sure that you have enough time for whatever amount of minutes that you want to burn. I haven't quite gotten all that down, and I haven't quite experimented that much to see how much fuel it takes for, you know, burning a certain amount of minutes, but that's something to keep in consideration. So I'm going to let everything cool off, and I'm going to go and try the last stove, which is the Bushcraft Essentials Ultralight, just with the wood. So stay tuned. Alright, so for the third and final test, we have the Bushbucks Ultralight from Bushcraft Essentials, and we're going to go ahead and I put a little bit of newspaper and some sticks, you know, a small size stick, just to kind of make sure that everything fits in there. And I'm going to go ahead and light up the newspaper first, just to kind of make sure that, you know, it creates enough of a flame for the rest of the sticks to be fed slowly. So let's give it a try. course, it's better to feed thinner and smaller sticks at first, just to kind of make sure that they catch the flame, and then as the flame progresses, or as it gets stronger, then you can feed the bigger sticks, or the thicker sticks. But I think we can make this one work. You have to constantly keep feeding it, otherwise, you know, the small sticks don't last too long for you to have a sustainable flame due to the size of the stove. Now, I don't see this as a disadvantage. It's just something to keep in mind. You have to keep feeding it constantly, you know, but it's something to keep you occupied, something that, you know, it's definitely not a chore, at least not for me. So I want to let this create a bigger flame, or a stronger flame, and then we're going to put the water on top. Alright, so it looks like we have a pretty decent flame. Here's the water again, 24 ounces, cool water. We're going to put the lid on top, and we're going to secure it there. Perfect. Alright, and we start a timer. So as you can tell, you have to work a little harder at keeping the flames alive. You have to keep feeding it, have to keep paying attention to it so it doesn't go out of you due to the size of the flame. But it works. I mean, it's a design that it definitely does what it's intended to do. Alright, it looks like there's some steam coming out of here, so that means the water is at a boil. So we're going to go ahead and stop, and it looks like 8 minutes 19 seconds right there. So let's take a look. Perfect. Alright, so there you go, guys. Just a quick demonstration of this awesome little wood stove. And you know, once again, advantages: very lightweight. To have a video where I review and show more in depth of this stove, so if you're interested, I'll put the link of that. The other advantage is, you know, there's wood everywhere unless you go to the desert, or unless you're trapped in a deserted island with no wood, or if you're in the middle of the sea, there's no wood, obviously. So that's, you know, I guess a disadvantage, if you will. Another disadvantage is that it requires a lot more attention. You have to make sure that you are constantly feeding the fire, you know, blowing in a little bit of oxygen in there to keep the flame alive. Of course, you have to make sure that your wood is dry. You have to make sure that you know how to light up a fire with wood to be able to make this one work. But then again, you know, most of us that go out camping or hiking or backpacking, we already know how to do that. So this is definitely a very good choice. Now, if I had to pick which one is my favorite, I don't think I could. That's why I have all three. My first one out of these three was the gas one, and you know, I enjoy that very much. That's the one that I rely on most of the time. But I also carry my Bushcraft Essentials ultralight in my backpack because it weighs basically nothing. It doesn't take a whole lot of space in my pack, so it's there for when I want to use it, for when I need to use it. I know I can count on that. And the Trangia, it's something that I wanted to get for a long time. One, because I could use it with the ultralight Bushcraft Essentials, but also because it's just, you know, it gives me another option for a stove, and also because it's just a cool stove to have. Once again, it's been around for a long time, so I couldn't pick any of these three. They're all three good. They're all three performed like they're supposed to. There's advantages and disadvantages on either one of those three, just like in everything else, but you know, I enjoy all three of them. So anyway, guys, again, this is not meant to be a scientific test of any way, shape, or form. This is just to kind of show you how they work for me, and just to kind of give you a ballpark idea on how long they take to perform as far as boiling water. So there you go. Well, guys, like always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Please check us out on Facebook, Muddy Tiger Outdoors. Don't forget to leave a comment, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.